Somewhere in the world, there are people who defy the limits of human possibility. Individuals who have X-ray vision, those who can remember every moment of their life, and some who can create fire with nothing but their hands. These aren't comic book heroes or movie characters. They're real people, living among us, with abilities science still struggles to explain. Teleportation. Recently, CCTV footage surfaced online showing something that defies everything we know. It was just another ordinary day on a busy expressway. Cars speeding by, people minding their business, and then, in a blink of an eye, chaos. A truck swerved toward a biker crossing the road, an accident's away. But before impact, a shadowy figure in a black hood appeared beside him out of nowhere. In a flash, both vanished, only to reappear safely on the other side of the road. The driver jumped out, terrified he had just killed someone. But there they were, alive, and the victim, shaken. The hooded stranger walked away without a word, leaving behind more questions than answers. Telekinesis. Many tend to believe it is not possible to move objects with the mind without directly touching them. But throughout history, strange cases have surfaced, stories that science can't fully explain. From the whispers of ancient mystics to modern laboratory tests, humanity has always wanted to prove the existence of this strange ability. Fast forward to today with cameras everywhere, every moment and every movement is recorded. So when something impossible happens, there's no hiding it. In a leaked CCTV clip, a young woman was filmed doing something extraordinary in a shopping mall. A shopping cart was rolling uncontrollably toward a child moments away from causing serious injury. But then came this woman who, with just a wave of her hand, misdirected the cart. No strings, no contact, just a single swift motion, as if an invisible force had pushed it away. Skeptics say it's a coincidence, others call it editing, but there's a reason even scientists haven't let this go. To this day, no one has been able to fully explain what the cameras recorded, or whether this power truly exists, or just a deception of the mind. X-ray vision. Can a human really see inside another person's body without any machines? Without X-rays? Without science? One Russian woman says she can, and for decades, scientists have tried to prove her wrong. Her name is Natasha Demkina, and she claims to have a special kind of vision, one that allows her to look beneath the skin and see organs, bones, and even tumors. It all began when she was just 10 years old. Natasha started telling her mother she could see inside people's bodies, not in a strange or scary way, but just like she was reading a book that no one else could see. As she grew older, people from her hometown in Russia began visiting her for readings. They said she could describe their internal injuries, hidden conditions, and even diagnose illnesses no one else could detect. Word spread fast, and soon the media gave her a name, the girl with X-ray eyes. At 17, Natasha appeared on the British TV show This Morning in front of a live audience. She stunned viewers by correctly identifying presenter Fern Britton's injured ankle without being told where it was. From that moment, the world took notice. Scientists, skeptics, and doctors wanted to know the truth. Could this teenage girl really see what no medical machine could? In 2005, Natasha was invited to undergo a controlled experiment in London. The study was supervised by doctors, radiologists, and experts in human perception. Their goal was simple: test her under strict conditions and find out if her X-ray vision was real. During the tests, Natasha made several observations that seemed accurate, but others were way off. When the results came in, the verdict was divided. Some claimed she had genuine insight. Others said she simply guessed, reading subtle body cues or relying on chance. The scientists couldn't reach a clear conclusion. To this day, there's no solid proof that Natasha Demkina truly sees through the human body, but there's also no proof that she doesn't. Some psychologists believe her gift could be a form of heightened perception, an extraordinary ability to notice details, skin tone changes, or micro-expressions that others overlook. Others say it's pure coincidence. Now in her late 30s, she still performs readings and participates in studies on extrasensory perception.
Her name appears in books, documentaries, and countless debates about the limits of the human mind.
John Chang, Indonesia. Can you really start a fire without matches, tools, or even friction? In survival guides, you'll hear about birch bark, a hearth board, and a spindle. But in the 1980s, a man named John Chang used something far more mysterious: Qi energy. John Chang, a respected Qigong master from Java, stunned everyone when he appeared to burn paper using nothing but his bare hand. The moment was captured on video long before digital editing or deepfakes existed. But his master wasn't pleased. He believed such powers should remain hidden, sacred. After that, Chang never allowed his abilities to be filmed again. That single video became legend, evidence to some that Qi energy could do the impossible. But science disagreed. According to researchers, the human body cannot generate the energy needed to ignite objects remotely. So what really happened? Was it trickery, heat from friction, or something beyond our understanding? Years later, a Beijing physicist named Professor Xia Shang claimed Qi energy wasn't just spiritual, it was measurable. He argued that it could enhance human focus, memory, and even trigger extraordinary physical reactions. His experiments, though controversial, suggested that Qi might unlock hidden potential within the body. Skeptics called it pseudoscience. Believers called it proof. To this day, no one has explained what John Chang did or how. Was he a master of illusion or a man who glimpsed a side of nature science hasn't yet mapped?
Bee man. In a world where most people run from a single bee, there exists one man who walks into the swarm. Norman Gary Finkelstein, better known simply as Dr. Norman Gary, isn't your ordinary beekeeper. Imagine a man dressed head to toe in living gold. Thousands of honeybees calmly crawling over his body, his face even buzzing around his mouth as he plays the clarinet. Gary is a professional beekeeper, scientist, and musician who spent decades studying bee behavior at the University of California, Davis. But his connection with bees went far beyond research. He turned it into a performance art. He trained bees to respond to specific scents and cues, allowing him to perform astonishing acts, covering himself in live bees without being stung, letting them crawl into his mouth, and even playing his clarinet surrounded by them. The warmth of the music, the hum of the bees, it became a strange duet between man and swarm. Gary called these performances bee wrangling, and he became a sought-after figure in Hollywood, providing bees for films and commercials. To him, this wasn't madness, it was mutual respect. He understood their language, their temperament. They didn't see him as a threat, but as part of their world. It's almost supernatural, a man who could walk among thousands of stingers in harmony, his music weaving through their buzz. While others wore protective suits against bees, Norman Gary's armor was trusted.
Tanishq Abraham. What were you doing at 11 years old? Probably not giving speeches at NASA, but Tanishq Abraham was. At just 11, he's a high school graduate, a TEDx speaker, and a child prodigy who dreams of becoming President of the United States. By age 4, Tanishq had already joined Mensa, the Society for the World's Highest IQs. By 7, he was taking college courses, sitting right next to his mom, who gave up her career to support her son's education. At 10, he appeared on the Queen Latifah show to discuss his research on solar systems and exoplanets. He's spoken at TED conferences, explaining supernovas, climate change, and his passion for astronomy. In a TEDx talk that he delivered in 2013, the then 9-year-old Tanishq is reported to have said, "People should go to university and college when they are ready, not when they are old enough to go." He even became the youngest presenter at a NASA conference, NASA Ames. Now recognized worldwide as a kid genius, Tanishq travels across continents for lectures, public talks, and science events. Despite his fame, he speaks with a calm confidence, as if standing among adults twice his age is nothing new. To him, it isn't. He
He's been outsmarting expectations since he could read.
Masu Doyama. What if I told you there once lived a man who fought a bull with his bare hands? Not in a movie, not in a myth, but in real life. His name was Masutatu Oyama, the man the world came to call the God Hand. Masuyama wasn't born strong. He was born in 1923 in Korea, back when it was under Japanese rule. As a boy, he was wild, fearless, and often got into trouble. When he was 9, he began learning martial arts, Chinese Kempo at first, before moving to Japan at 15 to train in the legendary Shotokan karate school. Under the guidance of Gichin Funakoshi, the founder of modern karate, Oyama's skills grew rapidly. But his ambition was too large for a dojo. He didn't just want to learn karate, he wanted to master the human spirit, to prove the limits of the body and the mind. After World War II, Japan was in ruins, and Oyama struggled to find meaning in life. That's when he made a decision that would define his legend forever. He left everything behind: comfort, food, people, and went to live alone on Mount Manobu, training in complete isolation. For 18 months, Oyama lived like a warrior monk. He meditated under freezing waterfalls. He trained by punching trees and rocks until his knuckles bled. He split river stones with his bare hands. He even practiced breaking wooden boards suspended from ropes to perfect his strike at the moment of contact. When he finally descended the mountain, Masuyama was no longer an ordinary man. He was something else, a living weapon. To prove his strength, Oyama decided to test his karate against the most dangerous opponents on Earth. Not humans, but bulls. Between 1948 and 1952, he fought 52 bulls. Yes, real bulls. He killed 3 instantly with a single strike. In many others, he broke their horns with the edge of his bare hand. The footage of him standing before a furious bull, calm and unflinching as the animal charged, is now part of martial arts legend. He'd dodge at the last second, deliver one precise chop, and the horn would snap cleanly off. Some called it madness, others called it proof of divine discipline. But Oyama didn't stop there. He began the most brutal martial arts challenge ever recorded, the 100-man kumite. It's exactly what it sounds like, fighting 100 black belt opponents back-to-back in a single day. Each bout lasted only a few minutes, but the opponents came in waves. If he won, the next fighter stepped in immediately. If he lost, his reputation was finished. He completed this impossible feat 3 times. Many men fainted fighting him. Some suffered broken ribs, but Oyama refused to stop because, as he said, a true warrior is forged in suffering. With time, Masayama created his own style of karate, Kyokushin, meaning the ultimate truth. Unlike other schools, Kyokushin focused on full contact fighting, real punches, real pain, real endurance. Every student had to spar for hours, conditioning their body to withstand brutal strikes. His philosophy was simple: one must face death to understand life. Oyama's students worshipped him for his discipline, but feared him for his power. He could break thick planks, crush stones, and take punches to the stomach without flinching. But he was also a man of wisdom, teaching humility, courage, and respect. As word spread, Oyama's demonstrations became world famous. Audiences in America, Europe, and Asia watched in awe as he shattered bricks, broke bottles, and fought bulls. He appeared in newspapers and documentaries, earning the title the strongest karate master in history. Even Bruce Lee admired him, citing Oyama's spirit and training intensity as inspiration for his own discipline. Oyama's influence shaped generations. His Kyokushin school grew into one of the largest martial arts organizations in the world, with over 12 million practitioners in more than 120 countries. His students went on to create other famous styles like Ashihara Karate and Ashihara Karate, and his legacy can still be seen in modern mixed martial arts, MMA, and full contact competitions today. He once said, "If you do not overcome your tendency to give up easily, your life will lead to nothing. Joy Mill. They say love makes you notice the little things about someone, their habits, their laugh, even their scent. But for Joy Mill, that scent revealed something far greater, something no one else on Earth could sense. Joy, a retired nurse from Scotland, discovered she had an extraordinary gift, a heightened sense of smell known as hyperosmia. And that gift would one day help scientists detect Parkinson's disease long before doctors could. It began quietly with her husband, Les. Years before he was diagnosed, Joy noticed a strange new smell about him. She described it as musky and greasy, a subtle but distinct odor that clung to him no matter how much he bathed. At first, she couldn't explain it, but 12 years later, when Les was diagnosed with Parkinson's, everything clicked. During a Parkinson's support meeting, Joy noticed something startling. Everyone in the room smelled the same way. That same musky scent filled the air. And that's when she realized she could smell Parkinson's. Her discoveries soon drew the attention of scientists. Researchers Dr. Tylo Kunath from the University of Edinburgh and Professor Parita Baron from the University of Manchester decided to test her ability. They created what became known as the T-shirt test. Joy was given a series of shirts, some worn by people with Parkinson's, others by people without it. The results? She identified every Parkinson's patient with stunning accuracy and even pointed out one shirt from the healthy group insisting the person had the disease. Months later, that same individual was officially diagnosed. Her nose had sensed what modern medicine could not. Today, Joy Mill works with scientists to develop a diagnostic test based on her discovery, one that could detect Parkinson's years before symptoms appear. Her gift has turned grief into purpose and love into legacy.
Veronica Sider. Imagine being able to recognize a stranger's face from over a mile away. For most of us, that sounds impossible, but for Veronica Sider, it was reality. Born in Stuttgart, Germany, Veronica became famous in the 1970s when her university revealed something extraordinary. Her eyesight was about 20 times sharper than that of an average human being. Doctors said she could see at 20 feet what most people could only see at 2. In practical terms, she could identify people more than a mile away, read microscopic print, and even split a human hair visually without a magnifying lens. Her ability stunned ophthalmologists around the world. Some believed her eyes had an unusually dense arrangement of cone cells, the part of the retina responsible for sharp vision. Others thought it might be a unique biological mutation never seen before. Despite her incredible gift, Veronica didn't chase fame. She quietly pursued a career in dentistry where her precision vision proved surprisingly useful. Today, no one has officially matched her record-level eyesight. Scientists still debate how her eyes achieved such resolution, leaving her case shrouded in mystery.
Echolocation. Imagine walking through life without eyes, yet still being able to see everything around you. That was the reality for Ben Underwood, a boy from Sacramento, California, who lost both his eyes to cancer at just 3 years old, yet somehow learned to see using sound. Ben developed an extraordinary ability called echolocation, the same technique used by bats and dolphins. By clicking his tongue and listening to the returning echoes, he could tell where walls, cars, trees, and even people were. He rode his bicycle, played basketball, played video games, skateboarded, and navigated his neighborhood, all without sight. To the people who saw him, it looked like a miracle, but for Ben, it was his version of vision. Scientists later confirmed that his skill wasn't magic, but a rare form of human echolocation, where the brain learns to interpret sound reflections as shapes and distances. A similar story exists in Daniel Kish, another blind man, often called the real-life Batman. Daniel also uses tongue-clicking echolocation and even teaches blind children worldwide to navigate freely without canes. Through brain scans, researchers discovered that when Daniel or Ben use echolocation, the visual part of the brain activates, meaning their minds are literally seeing through sound.